Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final installation of Cataclysm on Unfair Difficulty Into the Breach. Thanks for joining me. It's been a little bit of a rocky ride here, but we're on to the final island. Mechs are on screen. We've got Camilla Vera with Conservative and a fully upgraded light tank in the Pitcher mech. Prospero with flying and a fully upgraded bomb dispenser in the Triptych mech, which has been of nebulous use. And then finally, Harold Schmidt in the drill mech with maximum damage, seismic capacitor, and a shield array. A weird little team, certainly. And whatever idea I had for like deploying lots of tanks and minions, it wasn't really working out very well, especially on the last island. But, you know, if the lesson of this run was to try and prioritize damage for a smoother run, at the very least here we can see some dogged determination closing out a run. You know, we're here at the end. All we gotta do is survive. We've got a full grid health. And the strategy is to just do our best to get through it, get the playthrough over with. Because that's how you want to live your life, you know? Just begrudgingly, mechanically, forcing yourself to do something against your will. That's the CTP way. So on this first turn, that's a lovely 2-for-1 from the Triptych mech. And then we just have to address the Alpha Beetle and the Crab. Otherwise, it was a relatively simple and easy first turn. And you love it when Camilla fails to get webbed thanks to her special ability. However, it's a little bit tricky here because, yes, we can get the Alpha Beetle out of the way, but we're going to take a nasty hit on the light tank. But it's okay, it will survive. So we will still have the multiplicative action advantage it provides. The next turn will be a 5v4. Now, this upcoming turn, you know, is a pretty simple first turn for me. But this next turn took me a long time to figure out a solve that I was happy with. So we've got, you know, double crabs threatening the grid tiles on C2 and D2. We've got both scorpions attacking the grid, including the scorpion leader, which is wedged between two grid buildings. And to top it all off, we've got the beetle leader attacking the grid. So this is the solve that I eventually came up with. We were going to kill the scorpion leader, get it into the instant death tile. Then drill mech could finish off that crab, and that gives us room to push the crab and the beetle leader out of the way. What I was not able to do was find a solution for the alpha scorpion over on C5, so we do have to give up a couple of points of grid health here. But that was the best that I could cook up with. You know, that took me like probably 5 minutes before I could get a solve that I was happy with, and we're gonna save you a little bit of time, ladies and gentlemen. If you could see a better solution, you've got the data. And if you have the time and inclination, feel free to take me to school. On this next turn, we have a little bit of a reprieve. We've got to address the scorpion and the crab, but the blobber bomb will be dunked into the lava for us. And the beetle leader, I believe, is going to doom itself. Or we can just chuck it into a cracked tile. Then we will sacrifice the light tank. It's worth it, though. It'll stop a spawn and foil the crab for us. So we get the next tank deployed. Even though if we're losing one, it's okay. we'll have a pretty clear board here. They're just guaranteeing the demise of the beetle leader. So we'll only have to worry about the Scorpion and one new Vec friend, which will be lit on fire for the final turn. And it's a Digger, putting our action advantage at 2v4. And we don't actually have to do anything. It's a wash. Love to see it. So we had to give up 2 points of grid health, but that's okay. We are in good shape for the final half. So the second half of the mission commences. I'm happy to see that the Digger will be squished by the Renfield Bomb, which means one of the special Vec spawns is essentially skipped for us. However, we do have to deal with the Blobber leader, as well as a Hornet leader. So, not the worst opener to the second half I've seen before. We have 4 Vec threatening the grid. That would be the Blobber Bomb, the Beetles, and the Scarab. The Hornets are attacking my units, including the Renfield Bomb. Renfield Bomb has enough health that it can take a little bit of damage, if need be. We have 4 threats to the grid and 3 actions to do something about it. It looks like the Triptych Mech is our best solve for the Blobber Bomb and the Beetle on D3. So that will foil those attacks and will destroy a beetle. And then we can just get both of the beetles to take a hot lava bath for us. So the only downside is the Renfield Bomb will be taking a little bit of damage here, but it should be within acceptable parameters. The other good news is we have blocked the Vec spawn, which means it will be eaten by the tentacles on the next round. Love to see it. And we will be at a pretty clean 3v3 here. So I make an interesting call on this turn. We've got 1 threat to the grid in the form of the Alpha Hornet. Otherwise, we just have to protect the Renfield Bomb as best we can. However, even though this is true, I still wind up doing something interesting. So in order to defend the Renfield Bomb, we're going to just get the Hornet destroyed. And then we can also dispose of the Blobber Bomb easily enough. But what I elect to do otherwise is what I decide to do with the Pitcher Mech. Now, the Pitcher Mech is not in a position to stop the Hornet. And with that knowledge, what I'm just going to do is block spawns very aggressively. I'm just going to give up 2 grid health and try to constrain the enemy presence as hard as I can for the remainder of the mission. It's not a particularly elegant solution, but as long as you can keep that grid online, and you can just keep the enemy presence minimal, that will buy you, hopefully, some breathing room. And we are going to continue this strategy with the pitcher mech deploying the tanks. The only spawn that we can't really block is the one on the instant death tile, but that's okay. As long as we block everything else, that just means the final turn will be a 3v4 in my favor. Actually, it'll be 2v4. Herald can simply push the Hornet into the falling boulders. And with that knowledge, it's basically GG. So just a single Scarab and the Blobber leader to worry about. They're going to do the best they can. And that is all they wrote for Cataclysm. It's a tough squad. I don't think I still, I don't have the right... I still don't think I've fully figured out Cataclysm on unfair difficulty to its best ability. But perhaps in the future I will experiment more with damage upgrades for the non-drill mech units. But stay tuned for the final normal iteration. Unless I want to go down the road of doing random squads or a custom squad, we've got a single bespoke squad left. And I would tell you what it's called, but it's a secret. But do share with your pals, anyone interested in strategic puzzle games or Into the Breach in general. And as we reach the end of my great labor, stay tuned for further updates on other games and other goofs. But appreciate the views, appreciate the comments, the likes, the subscribes, all that jazz.